Welcome back. In the previous step, we were introduced to the while loop. In this step, let's look at a couple of exercises using the while loop. Let's think about a problem. Print squares up to a limit. So I'll be given a limit. So I'll be given a number. So here it's 30. So I would want to print all the squares of numbers up to 30. So 2 square is 4, it's still less than 30. 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25. So that's cool. But 6 square 36. So it exceeds 30, so it will not be printed. So we would want to print all the squares up to the limit as well as the cubes up to the limit. For the cubes, the output would be 1, 8, 37 if 30 is the parameter which is passed in, because 4 cube is 4, 4, 4, 4 into 4 is 16, 16 4 is 64, which is greater than 30. So only 3 things would be printed, 1, 8 and 27. So you can write functions of this kind as an exercise, and at the end of this we will discuss when we can use a while and when we can use a for loop. Let's get started with the exercise now. I'll create a new file, new Python file, and I would want to call this while exercises and say OK. Now over here what we want to do is this. So let's comment the whole thing out, control slash command slash. So what we want to do is create a function called print squares up to limit. So let's copy the name, and this would accept a limit as the parameter. Now what I would want to do is up to 30 I would want to print all the squares. The way we can do that is by using a while. While condition is the syntax colon, and you can write what you want to do. Let's say I would want to print I or print something. What is the condition? While something is less than limit, right? So while something is less than limit, I would want to do some printing. Let's see what that something is right now. So I would want to start with numbers and find out their squares. So let's start with I is equal to 1, and I would say square of I into I. While I into I is less than limit. So while this is less than limit, I would want to print the value of I. We missed a semicolon, sorry, we missed a colon here. And let's now try to execute. What would happen? Actually, we should print the square. So I'll print I square I. Let's call this print squares up to limit 30. Right, that's what we wanted to do. Let's run it. Oops, it's still printing 1 again and again. Why? What did we miss? Think about it. What did we miss? We missed the increment. I is equal to I plus 1. That's something which a lot of beginners do. So now when I actually fix it, I is equal to I plus 1, and I execute it, I get 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Be careful with the indentation. We would want I is equal to I plus 1 to be part of the while loop. So it should be indented the same way as the print statement. So 1, 4, 9, 16 and 25. That's what is being printed. That's cool. What we want to do is we would want to print it on the same lines. What we'll do is we'll end it with a space. Now if you run it, it's 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. And if you run it with any numbers, 60, it prints up to 49, right? That's the exercise number 1. One of the things you can already see is when I'm starting to execute this, when I'm passing 60 to this, I don't know how many times this loop will be executed. I don't know when this condition will be met. You can see that now we are printing 7 values. But if I actually increase it 80, it's printing how many values? It's printing 8 values. So from the number which is passed in, we have no way to guess how many times this loop will be executed. We don't know when this condition will be false until it's really false. Those are the kinds of situations in which you go for a while loop. In a for loop, at the start of the execution of the for loop, you are almost very clear. For I is equal to 1 to 10. For I is equal to 115. So you know how many times the loop will be executed. But for a while loop, typically you don't really know that. Now, The next exercise was to print cubes up to a limit. Pause the video in here and you can try it as a simple exercise. Okay, print cubes should be very easy. So I just need to copy the squares, cubes I is equal to 1. So instead of I star I, it should be I star I star I. And over here it should be I star I. That's it. And we are ready. So let's now call this print cubes up to limit. What would happen? 1, 8, 27 and 64. This should be a very easy thing to do. All that we needed to change was instead of I star I, 2 places we replaced it with I star I star I. In this video, we looked at a couple of exercises with while loop. I'll see you in the next video where we'll look at another interesting exercise. Until then, bye-bye.